Hey everybody, welcome to a new segment on how to make stuff. I'm Tony, my name is Tony. We're going to make a syrup. Old-fashioned syrup. You know, the old days you used to put things on the stove and you'd cook it and you'd, cook and cook and cook. And this, we're going to do with a blender. Now this is what my syrup looks like. Now I add different things to my syrup. And this is, again, is just one window. It's not the only one. So I mean, expand your horizons with this. We did a papaya thing, and that with fermentation. Again, same thing. Expand your horizons. What I did here is I put a little bit of the apricot. I put some aloe vera juice and some rice wine in here. I wanted to start softening this up. You can do this either way. You can tear it up to pieces. You can throw it in right away. However way you want to do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to liquefy apricot, dried apricot. This is just dried apricot. You can buy it at any Arab market or Middle Eastern market, or you can make it yourself. Just take the fruit, fuse it with some gelatin, and then let it harden, and just throw it in there. Just break it up in small pieces. You might want to snack on some while you're making it, but that's okay. All right. I'm going to add a little ginger to mine. I like my stuff a little bit with a bite, So I'm going to take some ginger. Now I bought these dried. What I do is I take the sugar that's on them and I wash them off. Okay, you're still going to have some, but but for the most part it's off. So I'll throw them in there, or you can dehydrate your own pieces of ginger, however way you do it. But for today's segment, I'm just going to show you how to do this. We are going to add wine. Some people says you're a wino. I said no, I'm not a wino. I do like wine though, but no. The reason why is wine is going to soften up these components, and it's going to soften up the honey, and we need that. Okay. We're just going to pour a little bit, well, probably about an ounce or two, depending on whatever. Now, I bought this wine. This is a rice wine from an Asian market. Some of you are on a fixed budget. Some of you cannot afford to go to a liquor store, especially if you live in Canada. We're all broke here, so we can't afford to go to a liquor store anymore. So we have to go down to the Chinese markets to buy our cooking wine, because the cooking wine at the liquor boards or wherever you're buying are too expensive. Anyway, this has salt in it. So it's not. So you want that as well, because the salt will act as a preservative. So again, it's a cooking wine. You can buy it at any Asian market. Now we're going to start this off a little bit. I'm going to add a little water to it. Now this thing's going to bounce around like a basketball. And I'm going to add a little aloe vera to it too. I want the aloe vera in there again to help soften the honey and to act as a preservative, and plus the nutritional value of the aloe vera. And the antioxidant properties that are involved with it, the healing properties, and so forth. As you can see, I got high levels of vitamin A with the apricot. Okay, I got the antioxidant properties of the ginger. Okay, the stimulating properties of the ginger. I've got all the healing properties of the aloe vera in there as well. So we're going to pour that in there. Again, 1 to 2 ounces, whatever you feel like putting in it. Okay, just to get it going. And once this stuff starts to bounce and get mushy, I may want to add honey, or I may want to add more fruit, depending on how I want it. Okay, give me a second. We're going to get it started. What we're going to do is, I'm going to let this run, and the idea is to let it run until you feel the blender get warm. So for the sake of time, we're probably going to pause it here, and we're going to keep it running, and then when it gets to a certain consistency, we'll bring back. But you'll see, all we're going to do is just let it blend, heats up, and then what happens is you'll have a syrupy consistency, and what you wind up with eventually is a finished product like this. This is something you can put in your tea or coffee. You can put it on anything you want to eat, Put it on an ice cream dish if you want to put it on an ice cream dish, a homemade ice cream dish, by the way. So you can use this for almost anything, or you can take it straight up because you can add certain other antioxidants with this and the other components, and you can use it straight up if you like. Alright, so we're going to continue this, and then we'll come back when it's to the consistency that you need to see. Alright, we're back. Okay, what we did is we let it blend, and we added honey to it. We kept adding apricot, the dried apricot pit here with it, okay, until we got it to this point here. Now we stopped the blending because I wanted to add hawthorn berry powder to it, because I want the effect of the heart. Now we added more cinnamon to it as well, because we need to do something to neutralize some of the sugar effect from this. Even though we are using honey, we are using the dried fruit, and that has fructose in it. So we need to again do something to maybe offset maybe this potential insulin spiking. Now, cinnamon will help. Any of the spices you like. I'm using cinnamon, but you can use cardamom powder if you like. You can use clove powder if you like. Any of these herbs or spices, if you will, have healing properties. You can even add turmeric if we wanted to this. Again, this is something you can use almost any fashion. Let's say you have a child that's sick and you want to make a cough syrup. There you go. Add your essential oil of thyme, essential oil of peppermint, maybe the essential oil of birch or wintergreen, 1 drop or 2. And if you're going to use the whole thing as a cough syrup, maybe you might want to put 4 of each. Blend it up really well. You made a cough syrup. Some simple little thing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add hawthorn berry powder. This is hawthorn berry that's been powdered. Again, you can buy hawthorn berries, dry them up and powder them yourself. For the display, we're just using it this way. So I'm going to put a tablespoon in there. I want to make sure my heart's getting enough. Okay, so I'm going to re-blend it. Okay, you'll feel your blender and the blender will feel warm. Now the longer you let it blend and the warmer it gets, the better your fusion is going to be and the less chance of separating. Now as you can see, this is a finished product. I made this a couple days ago and you can see it hasn't separated at all. Now same thing, I added the same rice wine, I added the aloe vera, I added the water, and I added my components to it. Now you'll see the effect. Now we got high levels of beta carotene in this. Okay. Now it's still a little bit thick. I didn't let it blend as long as I might have wanted it to, but for display purposes, the longer you let it blend, the thinner it will get a little bit. You can add a little bit more water if you wanted to. I added aloe vera to it. Ooh. We added more cinnamon to this. If you could smell this, you'd love the scent. If you wanted to put this on a pancake, if you wanted to put it on a waffle, if you're eating those things, and again, I'm not encouraging you to do so, but let's say you are still eating those things. If you are, let's say you're making your own delight. You're making your own chocolate. And you got the chocolate heating up in the blender with your honey or whatever syrup you're using, a maple syrup or whatever, and you want to add this to it, by all means do so. Then you're going to have a chocolate flavored fruit. And you don't have to add sugar. You can actually put this in there, add your cocoa to it, okay, and just pour a little bit of amounts, add your cocoa to it, let it fuse, and then add your honey to it, and the honey will crystallize eventually and harden. You can make your own delight. So there you have it. You have an antioxidant loaded syrup that you can use. You can convert this to anything you like. If you want to add red pepper to it, you got a barbecue sauce. If you want to add, garlic or onion to it, again, you've got what they call it. Anyway, a mix for dipping if you want, or something hot and tangy. If you add cayenne pepper and garlic to it, also it will stimulate and get it in your system almost like lightning. You'll feel the effect. If you want to apply this, again, medicinally, or just consume it straight out, you can do so. You've got the antioxidant properties in there, you've got the high levels of cinnamon in there, you've got hawthorn berry there for the heart. Anybody can use this. And until the next segment, to your health.